Uh, Brett, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Well, I can't hear the studio, but it says I'm connected. I don't know if you're going into the studio, so I need a third party to tell me what we're hearing. I apologize, Brett. This is the first time I've used somebody myself direct to Skype. Let me call in. Hold on. Let me call in on another line.
Okay.
Let's see. 425-292. I apologize, folks. If you can hear me, I'm not even sure if I'm on the air because my producer is doing 6 hours today, and I've got to figure this out myself using Skype today as our new show, trying all these gadgets. I usually just call in. Okay, let's see. I've got Bret Lueder here, and I'm excited to have him, but I'm trying to connect him with Skype. Okay, that didn't work. Okay, I guess I'm online, but let's see. I don't have let me see if I plug this in, if this works. And folks, I know this sounds funny, but I usually call in. Normally I can do my show, but what I'm trying to do is get Bret Lueder connected with Skype. Tommy, can you hear me?
Where's Ahmad Painter, Mad Painter?
Oh, I can hear you good. Ahmad that does our production is, I don't know. Let me get him here. Let's see. I hate to bother him. He's probably taking a nap, but
I got a message from him Friday on Skype saying he's connecting with me for your show.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, can you talk to him?
No, I didn't talk to him. I just got the message today, and then I sent him back a message saying I'm here, and I haven't heard back.
Okay. Well, he may be out. He's been having a lot of trouble. It says go to call. Let me see if I can go to call. Add to call. Ahmad Painter. Let me see where Bret Lueder is. Let's see. Folks, I know this sounds funny, but I don't usually produce using Bret Lueder and Skype. And I know that, let's see, it says, where's Bret Lueder's name on here? I'm looking for you, Bret. It says connect. All these wonderful people. My goodness, all my entire Facebook is on here. So, folks, I don't usually use Skype. I have to learn because I always had a producer. And anyway, let me see if I can get Tommy on here, if he can explain this. Tommy's used Skype, and he's my co-producer for 7 years. But it says he's on here, Tommy Sinisi, but add to call. Let me add him. Let's see. Calling Tommy Sinisi. Let's see if this works. Bret Lueder is Tommy, and it says 2 of 3.
Hello?
Hey, Tommy, can you hear me on the radio show?
Yep, I hear you now, too. I called in on Skype, but you just transferred me over.
Okay. Well, so you could hear Bret. Could you hear Bret, too?
Hi, Tommy.
Greetings. I hear you fine, yes.
Okay, great.
So you think we'll be recorded then on the studio?
Yep.
Okay. Well, welcome, Bret. This is exciting. I didn't know because there's so many studio buttons to push, and I've never called in on Skype into my studio to know how it worked. So apologize, everybody. It's a slow start. But let me read what I'm doing today for the first time since I believe you can hear me. Now, Tommy, if I put you on mute, I need you to tell me if you can... How do you know if we're on the radio show now? Because you're on Skype, but how do we know we're being recorded?
Well, I'll call in from my phone. Hold on. Don't go anywhere.
All right, folks. I just want to make sure before I start the Bret Lueder show that it says, great to hear. But Bret Lueder, now I may have to redo this. So if you can't hear me, it doesn't matter. But we'll be late getting on the show. But hold on. Yes.
You're okay. You're online. You're on the show.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Well, then we can start, folks. And wow, apologize for being a little late, but my producer that runs many radio shows for many people, including me and Janet Lesson, and Janet's going to do a show right after me with Bret. And I don't know if she can do this either. She'll probably have to go through this. But Bret Lueder received his bachelor's degree in journalism from Chico State University in 2000. That's in Northern California. Now, since then, he's gone on to write roughly 700 articles on music, alternative history, spirituality, and UFOs for such magazines as Magical Blend Magazine, UFO Magazine, Reggae Festival Guide, the Chico News and Renew, and currently Phenomena Magazine online out of Scotland. Wow. And Paranoia Magazine out of Northern California Bay Area. So others as well, but we just mentioned those few. He's quite an accomplished journalist. He's written at least 2 books, maybe more, but I didn't try to update any of this yet. But the first is Song in Your Heart, the story of the search for the lost note, Volume 1, released in 2008. It's the first in a 3-part series titled The Esoteric Guide to the Reggae Vibe series, illustrating the role of the roots Reggae Rasta. And so that's going to be interesting. But in terms of global struggle for the control of human consciousness, so I guess he has a twist on that. But Volume 2 tells of a heavy heart, UFOs, magic, and impending doom. And it says due late 2018, so I imagine like I need to update this. I might have grabbed one that's not fully up to date. So in the most recent book, A UFO Hunter's Guide, wow, that was released in 2012, and Tommy just did one. So we'll get all this down the first hour of what I'm trying to create with Bret and Tommy. And they've got a lot in common since they both wrote, and I wrote UFO books. But anyway, that was by Weiser in San Francisco, and later breaks down the muddled field of ufology into possible chunks, both highlighting the field's infamous history and the context with which a ufologist finds themselves today. So unlike any other book on the market, it includes tips from the pros, as many others today that are top investigators contribute key factors. And we're going to talk about all of that today because I'm doing Ascension Church Ohana, and it's a metaphysical group, Ace Metaphysical Church, but we're going to approach that with strategies pertinent for any investigator, including me as a senior journalist with the Society of Professional Journalists, and Bret Lueder, who is a very well known at these events out in the California area. But it says that the speakers from the Bay Area UFO Expo, titled The Esoteric Guide to the Bay Area UFO Volumes 1, 2, and 3, which is a 3-disc set of interviews in the works, which I need to read. So because I don't deal with the California Area Expo since '93. I did what was called what was it called? Eco Expo. Most recently, Lueder produced a new 2-disc DVD set titled The Inside Mount Shasta in 2017. But he can update us on that. But what's brought him to me is I want to do life stories on Sunday in our Ascension magical world. And I had to look up the proper way to spell lens, because you can spell Lens or Lense. And being that he is a journalist, I wanted to get it right. So I used Lens of those. And we're going to do a greetings from Tommy and then let Bret get on here. But I was wondering about the lens of myth or history of ufology and PR, meaning we'll get into all that. So let Tommy, you go ahead and do your greeting as my co-host, and then we're gonna let Bret take over. Go ahead, Tommy.
Greetings, everyone. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the Big Island of Hawaii. We've got a great guest on today. Just welcome everybody. The show's going to be getting bigger and better as we keep moving along and get everything organized. So try to stay with us, be a part of it. You can become a member, be part of a group. We've got a lot of different things going on now. We try to keep Sunday, I do anyway, to try to keep it spiritual, pertaining to a more down-to-earth, realistic truth. But in the interim, we got lots of things going. I got my new book coming out. I'm sending it to everybody as a JPEG with pictures, and then it's going to be a regular file of how to see a UFO. And I know you did something like that too, Brad. So we can talk about that sometime later, maybe. But yeah, I've been involved with UFOs all my life, ever since I was 6, so it's not like something new. And then we started filming thousands of pictures of ships and creatures and entities. So my life's been around that as well as a spiritual quest. But back to TJ. Thank you. Greetings, everyone.
Thank you, Tommy. I really appreciate you coming and helping me out with Bret. I wasn't sure I could do a interview by myself. And Sundays, we're, like Tommy said, we're building our ACO association, and I'm not sure that Bret knows what I'm doing to create community, but he creates his own. Maybe we can get them together. So Bret Lueder, BretLueder, author and speaker, and I guess you're going to be doing producing other things besides music, but we have a lot in common. So Bret, I'd like to have a formal introduction from you, because I know you also do co-hosting as well. So you go ahead and give your best co-host type of intro, please.
Okay. Yeah, periodically, Monique Lasan, who also has a show at Revolution Radio on freedomslips.com. Her show's titled The Matrix of Perception, and every so often she invites me on as a guest co-host. And every so often when she leaves, she'll ask me to host a show. So I get a little broadcast journalism experience and exposure there. As well as, you mentioned, my 2 books and my upcoming 3rd book, Tales of a Heavy Heart, UFOs, Magic, and Impending Doom, which is volume 2 in the Esoteric Guide to the Reggae Vibe trilogy. Do you know who Bob Marley is, TJ?
Oh, yeah, my next door neighbor is my son-in-law, and he's black and Indian, and in his living room is the big Marley poster. And he's a big Reggae Marley fan. So my granddaughter is half Indian black like he is. So I guess he's like a fandom person for Bob Marley. But isn't he the reggae musician? I'm a musician, I should know, but yeah. I never played reggae. But you tell me who he is.
When I talk about reggae to the Western world, Bob Marley's the most recognizable name. So I usually lead off with Bob Marley. But when I talk about Bob Marley in my book, I put him in a little bit more specific category than the broad category of reggae, because that covers quite a few different genres within the reggae umbrella. But what I talk about in my book are what's known as the roots reggae Rastas, and those are Rastafari that play roots reggae music. Now, roots reggae music, to distinguish from, say, like dancehall or reggaeton, is the original form that came out. When reggae came out, it was in the form of roots reggae, meaning it was like the folk music of the poor people of the island. And it had a certain sound. Rhythmically speaking, it had a skank, which is a
Hold
technique.
on. Tommy, you're going to have to put your Skype on mute. Do you know how to do that?
Okay, no problem.
Okay. I'm sorry, that's lesson number 101 as a co-host on Skype, is we have to learn how to mute when we're not talking, because he and I both have a dog. So I'm sorry, Bret, we're starting all over on Sundays today without, I really thought he was going to be here, and like he said, he let you know, so something had to happen, but he's been having a lot of trouble with his equipment, okay, and I'm sure he'll help Janet today. So thank you for mentioning. My producer is Thomas Becker, but he goes by a Mad Painter. He is the Mad Painter, and he does a Mad Look at Reality on Sundays, and Monday he has he has open canvas here on Revolution Radio and on TJ Mars ET Radio, and together we run Cosmos Radios, plural, and we run Cosmos Expo, and we run American Communications Online, and now he's running the ACO Club, or ACO Radio Club, with me and others that join us in the Advanced Communications Agency, and my American Communications Online. Woo, a lot of ACOs. So we'll explain all that to Bret, but I brought him on for this Ascension Church Ohana today because we're sort of a metaphysical thing, and we're leading off with Bret and reggae. So we have music, and I guess we're going to enjoy reggae. And back to you, Bret. So fill us in on this interesting Sunday with you. Starting this day off, this church off. Can we say church is the people? Can we agree on that? Because three of us have never been together. So is it okay to say metaphysical church with you, or is that offensive?
I don't care.
Cool. Because the church is the people. I wonder if the reggae people feel that way. music and words. But all right, well, keep going. Thank